Welcome to The Chosen One. I am your host, Qui-Gon Din, and today on Shatterthoughts, we're just going to have a brief thought about Cassian Andor and Baze and Churrit. The question is floating around, are Baze and Churrit overpowered? And I'm going to give my two thoughts on it, and my answer is I don't think they are. I think they're very, very good, but if you play them outside of Cassian, they have similar results to Han and Chewie. They are very good, yes. But they are still just a standard kind of unit that, they have a strong activation and they're consistent. Well, Han and Chewie have really consistent activations as well. So do Aqua Droids, so do Seven Scorch. The only time that I notice Baze and Churrit feeling overpowered is when they're in an Andor list. And that leads to the credence that I believe a lot of people are kind of thinking that Andor is not as much of a problem. And I'm going to disagree on a slight note. Contrary to a lot of people's belief that Andor is not a problem, Andor is the biggest enabler of any faction. You look at him, and just him being on the board creates a problematic game state for your opponent. Just by him standing there, he is providing one of the best revenge triggers in the game, which can be triggered even if you wound your own stuff. So you're strained, cool, you can proc that and move someone still. So that's already impactful. That's one thing that him just being on the board is going to allow. The other thing that he's going to allow, he's going to turn your Shatterpoint into a kill button. With any of your units that have any way of built-in focusing, whether it's Princess Leia Charming to the Last, Baze and Churrit, Rebel Commandos, Callus, anything that can built-in focus, Sabine, becomes a kill switch. Literally turns them into, I'm going to full tree probably, and when you turn your Shatterpoint into that style of play, while also having the best revenge trigger in the game, you start doing stuff. And then you get the other thing, and this is definitely by far the most egregious thing that Cassian is doing. The bomb. The town is ready to blow is an ability that should not exist in the game in its current wording. You should not be punished for losing Struggle 1 by taking even more damage that you cannot avoid. That is a mechanic that should definitely not exist in this game. Now, if you lose your struggle and then you get to burn your opponent for some damage as a catch-up mechanic, perfectly fine. But it just going off, even if you win the struggle, I believe leads to more 2-0s than it should. It puts your opponent on an even back further to where now you maintain the lead in struggle 1, and now you're going to win the attrition fight in struggle 2. That is something that should not exist. It is a very bad play experience. And this is someone who's played Andor. I played him at the Evergreen Open, and it led to my opponent quitting. The bomb itself is what made him drop out of the match. He did not want to play the game further. It is a bad play experience. The bomb is absolutely broken, and it should be addressed. That's the one thing on his card that definitely needs a change. But as to my thoughts on our Baze and Churrit, the overpowered part of that puzzle, no. Andor was doing really good before Baze and Churrit came out. He was the best topping primary, and he hasn't dropped from the top ranking since his release. He was winning GTs. As soon as he came out, he was winning GTs. And the Andor, the Gin Box, just added more gas to that fire. Yes, Baze and Churrit are a strong unit, but you remove Andor from the equation, they become perfectly fine. That is my take. That is my shatter thought of the day.